back to this another episode with me, Arshi. I hope you guys are doing good. And I think, every single time I make my videos, we always and always talk about, ki, student aspire to get into all their dream jobs. And that is also one of the reasons, why they go for MBA after such diverse undergrads courses. But if we talk, if we see, down the line after many years into industry, how it looks like. So we have somebody to answer all those questions. So we have Shubhra with me. Before starting my question, Shubhra, I just request you to introduce yourself so that accordingly we can take it forward.
Yeah, so my full name is Subhra Pratim Bhattacharjee. It's a very traditional Bengali name. Um, I have around 18 years of work experience into banking, into edtech, and into learning and development field. Um, Prior to me joining into the corporate world, I had completed my engineering and MBA, and I belong to a very, you know, very out of the way traditional place. It's in the northeast, not from a very big city. And I come from that place, and I have grown into my career from there. So that's about it from my side.
I'm not wrong, you did your MBA in the year 2008. So how was it back then?
Yeah, as in MBA back then was much more lucrative, I would say, as in people would nowadays, if I see that there are a lot many options available with the students, a lot many things to do and lot many opportunities. Even I find that the charm of MBA is somewhat died down, but as in it has its own variations, own specializations, and lot of variety in it. But if we say during our time, 2006, 2008, when I did my MBA, it was more like if you are doing an MBA, then it will be a plain vanilla one and little bit of specializations like marketing and finance and HR. Okay, only these three. Nowadays, if I see, I would see MBA in hospitality, MBA in recreational sports. So there are so many kinds of MBAs are there these days. So that's the difference. It has evolved a lot, I would say.
So you have so many options now, and with so many options, there's so much of confusion as well. So I just wanted to
Yeah, yeah.
understand, when you complete an MBA, you ended up with your first job. Obviously, like I think ये situation तो कहीं ना कहीं same ही होगी कि जब एक student MBA करके निकलता है, he or she have a lot of aspiration. Sometimes very unrealistic, expectation कि अच्छा ठीक है MBA कर लिया, things will be like this, it will be like. तो अगर हम आपकी first job experience के बारे में बात करें तो how is it and what was your first job all about?
So I got campus placed in November 2007. And then my joining was in May 2000, on 2nd May 2008. It was Axis Bank. I started my career with Axis Bank, and I was back then, I was at in Delhi, the NCR. And yeah, so I would say that what we learned during our MBA days and when we stepped into the job, initial 15, 20 days on, mm, you know, our induction program and all those things, we learned a lot of things. But the actual learning started in the next 3 months, wherein we saw a sea difference between what we actually saw or got introduced to during our MBA and what we actually did on the job. There are a lot of things, lot of differences, and I think slowly and steadily, last 17, 18 years, the organizations or institutions have actually closed this gap. They have started giving real life experiences to students what actually happens in job. So that is the difference. We found a lot of gap between what we studied and what actually were happening at the job on ground.
अच्छा तो if I'm not wrong, you did your MBA in finance.
Yeah, I did my MBA in finance. It was a dual specialization, so marketing and finance.
So if I talk about current situation, I mean, let's talk both about marketing and finance, right? जो बच्चा एमबीए करने जाता है, पहला तो रीजन ये होता है कि उसे लगता है कि एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे, if I'll go for my graduation, I'll end up landing to jobs which will be more of a executive or core sales role, or finance maybe, BFSI में core again related to sales role. तो वो ये सोचता है कि लेट्स इन केस अगर मैं एमबीए करता हूँ तो मैं मतलब मेरी प्रोफाइल चेंज हो जाएगी, मुझे मतलब सेल्स नहीं करना पड़ेगा. So, I mean, you're there in the industry, and then I think under you there will be n number of people coming from different MBA colleges. You might have, you know, mentored them or worked with them. So, what do you want to say on this particular aspect? कि ठीक है, हम एमबीए करने जा रहे हैं, लेट्स से हैव डन एमबीए इन मार्केटिंग, सो वी हैव दिस एक्सपेक्टेशन कि ठीक है सेल्स नहीं करनी पड़ेगी, बट ऑन ग्राउंड क्या चीजें हैं. एंड इफ आई टॉक अबाउट फाइनेंस स्टूडेंट वांट्स टू गेट इनटू कि मुझे इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग में जाना है, राइट? बट अगेन
Hmm.
उसके लिए क्या रास्ता जाना है, nobody knows about that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, see, MBA will not give you direct access to the corner office. ठीक है. सो कॉर्नर ऑफिस अगर फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ द व्यू लिसनर्स एंड व्यूअर्स हु आर देयर इन योर चैनल, कॉर्नर ऑफिस मतलब जो लीड करता है इन एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. द पीपल हु गेट द कॉर्नर ऑफिस आर द ones who lead the floor normally, the entire floor leaders. So MBA will not guarantee you a corner office, provided you are doing it from the number ones in the world.
The tier
Okay.
one colleges we talk about, Blackies, older
Yeah,
IIM and all that. Hmm.
yeah. अगर आपने इनसीड से किया, ओके, दैट्स द नंबर वन इन द वर्ल्ड, तो हो सकता है आप कॉर्नर ऑफिस में जाओ. बट देन इनसीड में जाने के लिए भी यू नीड टू हैव that kind of an experience, okay, and that kind of a profile, okay. Now if you are doing MBA from say top 50 MBA college B schools in India, um, or even you are doing from any other better institutions also, what happens on ground you have to know that at any point of time. On ground reality you have to know. ठीक है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू आर ज्वाइनिंग से HUL, हिंदुस्तान यूनिलीवर, एंड यू ज्वाइन एज ए रीजनल हेड, ओके. बट वो जो बंदा जो HUL का सामान कैरी करके एवरी डे ही गोज एंड delivers it, the last mile connectivity maintains for the distribution, you have to know that reality. You have to be grounded, okay. We talk about a lot of AI tools and all, right? All these AI tools are also grounded. They're grounded on something. They're grounded on a base or a knowledge. You have to have that knowledge. Yeah, you as a person needs to have that knowledge as well. So it's not a dream कि इधर कर लिया and we will reach somewhere and वो मेरा dream place होगा. It's not like that. You have to be in reality. That's why I told when I landed to my first job, I saw the reality. Okay. पूरे एमबीए में ड्रीम्स दिखाया था हम लोगों को, बट देन आई व्हेन वी केम ऑन ग्राउंड वी न्यू दिस इज द वर्क वी हैव टू डू. वी हैव टू लर्न दिस एंड देन ओनली वी स्टार्टेड प्रोग्रेसिंग from assistant manager to deputy to manager to senior manager to AVP to various levels. As in all those things happen with experience and learning. Yeah.
आपने बीच में एक लाइन बोली कि हम नाउ वी टॉक अबाउट ऑल दीज एआई टूल्स एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट. सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक,
Mhm.
बीइंग देयर इन इंडस्ट्री फॉर ऑलमोस्ट 18 years, आपको लगता
Mhm.
है कि स्पेशली जो स्टूडेंट्स अभी एमबीए कर रहे हैं, एआई उन सबकी जॉब्स खा लेगा? दिस इज समथिंग, द काइंड ऑफ टैगलाइन वी हर्ड ऑन गूगल, जैसे आई स्क्रॉल डाउन, या फिर ऑन इंस्टाग्राम ऑल्सो, बिकॉज नाउ एवरी मतलब these days everybody is a creator. So what do you want to say on this?
No, I see. You have to be insecure about your job at point. If you are insecure, then you can challenge yourself. I wouldn't say you insecurity is a negative thing. I would say that you should be insecure is a negative word. I should say you should be concerned. ठीक है. बिकॉज आपके पास मेरे पास 17 18 years का स्किल्स है. आई हैव दो स्किल्स. आई बट 17 years बाद there is a disruptive thing which has come and um, people are adopting it. and my clients are adopting it. I have to make sure that my clients know how to adopt it. So I have to be one or two notches above my clients. Okay, and when I talk about my clients, I give services to the best and best of the world. Okay, and then मेरे को भी उतना practice करना पड़ेगा. Sorry, you are on mute.
Sure, your current company you're working with, if I am not wrong, Unext, right?
Yep.
So what it exactly do?
Okay. Yeah, let me give you that. I think I should have told you in the beginning. Yeah. Okay, so MEMG Group, Manipal Education and Medical Group, is one of the largest hospitality group and education group in India. Um, so it has Manipal Hospitals, which is the largest hospital chain in India, backed by Blackstone, uh, and then Manipal University, Mahe especially, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, and Manipal University Jaipur, Sikkim Manipal, and Manipal Bangalore. Okay, all these are top-notch institutions in India, and a recent report, Times of India, it is the third ranked university in India, Mahe. So this all comes under Manipal Group. So Manipal Group has one more organization. It's Unext. A few other organizations are also there. Under Unext, there are two segments. One is Manipal Academy of BFSI. So if you have heard of all the bank related PO programs,
Is it about these
it was
online MBA and online courses you're talking about, which
it
comes?
is. It is. I'll come to that part. So Unix has got two parts. One is three parts rather. One is Manipal Academy of BFSI, which collaborates with all the large banks, private banks in India, private and government banks in India, and creates that entry level workforce for them. It is one of the pioneers in that, and then online programs on tech and management. That degree also is given by Unext, and one arm of Unext, which is Unext for Enterprise, is what we work in. And Unext for Enterprise takes care of capability building, skill enhancement for all. Name the organization, we do it for them. Okay, so whether it is an ad hoc, and it's not nationally only, it's nationally and internationally. Okay, so it can be an ad hoc program, it can be a retainer program, it can be a program which is concepted by us as a consultant. So all these are done by Manipal, Unext Manipal. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So I also have this question. I mean, अगर मैं बात करूं तो majority of students, especially in India, not in abroad, right? To get to go for MBA in abroad, you need to have few years of experience. That is the mandatory requirement. But in India, there's no such requirement, right? So more than 50% students go for their MBA in India being freshers. Okay. The fee structure of all these colleges, including IIMs, it's very expensive. You need to make an investment of minimum 20 lakh rupees. Uh, so again, there's this again a question key, whether it really makes sense to invest this much of amount, right? Second thing, the what a student can expect from his or her first job, irrespective of the category of colleges they passed out, what they can expect and how they can capitalize in future. Because I interact with a lot of my students whom I counsel, right? So few of them always and always say that first job was always and always a learning experience, right? And then how we were able to capitalize those learning in the couple of years. So that is basically the whole ROI out of MBA. So what do you want to say on this?
See, MBA in India is costing 25 lakhs. When we used to study, it was like 5.5 lakhs. Okay. That kind of price difference is obviously inflation is also there. But I would say still it is quite cheap in India. If you go to US, it is 1.5 CR, 1 to 1.5 CR. Minimum fees is 1 crore. Indian rupees. Okay. If you go to Europe, it is around 50 lakhs to 75 lakhs. Okay. Considering where you are. In Germany, it will be 75 lakhs. In other places, it will be little cheaper. So I would say it's still cheaper in India to do MBA. But uh, having said that, I always believe that MBA should be done by someone who knows what is there happening on ground, and that is why MBA should not be a continuous learning thing. Students should not, those who have completed engineering, should not jump right into an MBA course. Though that's the norm. I know you are quite experienced. You have connected with so many students recently. My interaction with the students are very limited. I interact with corporates rather, and they also tell us the same thing. अरे यार ये क्या इनका तो talent readiness नहीं है. Okay. So we term something known as skill gap. So skill gap जो है उस वो बहुत high होता है, and that's why there is something called boot camp. So we do certain programs, boot camp programs for especially for this kind of a situation. So uh, it's going to a different direction, so I'll not go there. But what I'm trying to say is that our students at bachelor's level should first think that what can we do, what can we learn at bachelor's level. Okay, जिसने भी से, for example, if somebody did had completed BCom, somebody did BBA, somebody did BTech in say electronics or computer science, they should go and work in the industry for some time with that degree. And there are ample opportunities. India being India, wherein lot of opportunities there at this point of time, I would say,
I just want to
compared to
cut you
all.
in between. You said this statement. A lot of students might be commenting that the placement industry, the industry is going on a very rough pace where there are lots and lots of layoffs happening across the industries because of AI, because of might be that the industry is not booming the way it is, and I've seen, this year I've interacted with a couple of colleges students, agar hum placement report utha ke dekhein, including colleges like IIM or and NMIMS, they even have, a major chunk of unplaced students agar aap 2000.
Mm, mm.
तो ये स्टेटमेंट तो अगर ऐसा है कि इतनी अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं इंडिया में, तो ये जब हम प्लेसमेंट रिपोर्ट्स देख रहे होते हैं तो यहाँ पे हमें एक अलग ही फिगर देखने को मिलता है, या फिर आज के टाइम पे सोशल मीडिया है तो स्टूडेंट कैन कम ऑन इंस्टाग्राम पोस्टिंग ऑल दिस अनोनिमसली कि ठीक है, दिस इज द प्लेसमेंट रिपोर्ट, दिस इज लाइक दिस.
So placement report में ना एक चीज करना चाहिए. That's what I feel, because I have worked within university also for some time, and as a program manager, I had been managing multiple analytics programs for them. So uh, व्हाट आई फील इज प्लेसमेंट में पहले प्लेसमेंट रिपोर्ट को आप ठीक से बनाओ. फॉर एग्जांपल, हु आर प्लेसमेंट रेडी एंड हु आर इंटरेस्टेड टू टेक प्लेसमेंट, उनको ही काउंट करो. फॉर एग्जांपल, आई वाज वाचिंग वन ऑफ योर वीडियो फॉर, आई थिंक, IMI Bhubaneswar. Okay, you said that there are 180 seats there. ठीक है. 180 सीट्स में यू हैड मेंशन समवेयर दैट कि 40 लोगों को शायद प्लेसमेंट नहीं मिला, समथिंग. सो नाउ 180 सीट्स में हाउ मेनी आर प्लेसमेंट एलिजिबल, बिकॉज प्लेसमेंट के लिए भी क्राइटेरिया होता है, राइट? सो you have to, most of the companies will come with a criteria like you have to get 50-60% marks throughout, certain you should not have any backlogs. अभी जो प्लेसमेंट में फिट नहीं होता है उसको काउंट मत करो ना. 180 में से फॉर एग्जांपल 150 इज प्लेसमेंट रेडी. नाउ इफ 150 का 150 प्लेस्ड हो गया, देन इट इज 100% प्लेसमेंट. 30 इज नॉट एलिजिबल बिकॉज दे हैव गॉट बैकलॉग्स. बैकलॉग्स होगा तो फिर industry institutions cannot help. No, there they'll have to anyways spend another semester to clear the backlogs, and then they can come back for the placement. And this is one thing. Okay, second thing is that also there are cases where students get placed on their own and those records are not kept by the university or they do not share with them. So those things also doesn't come. There are opportunities, and in certain cases also because of peer pressure. For example, मेरे क्लास में 180 स्टूडेंट्स हैं, सब लोग को अच्छा अच्छा प्लेसमेंट हो गया. I, being a very weak student, I got placed into some very small company. इन ए एनजीओ से, मैं तो बताऊंगा ही नहीं ना। आई विल नॉट कम एंड टेल बिकॉज ऑफ माय पीयर प्रेशर कि बाकी लोग तो इतना। सो दोज थिंग्स हैपन। ओके, वी हैव टू सी द रियलिटी, दैट इज द रियलिटी आई वुड से।
अच्छा, I also have this question. You said that key opportunities बहुत है, right? But again, you need to have all these skill sets. So if I talk about, what do you think? What are the must skills what a MBA student needs to have? If they really want to get placements, because though हम YMBA में कुछ भी आंसर दे दें, right? But end of the day, when I communicate, it's always and always कि ठीक है, मुझे अच्छा placement चाहिए, मुझे career में growth चाहिए. That is one of the reasons I want to go for MBA.
Yeah. So
It's
before I
really
answer this,
proportional to the skill set what you have.
yeah. So before I answer this, I would also tell one more thing here. You were highlighting about a lot of jobs getting culled out because of AI. Yeah, but at the back end, industry. So normally, what happens is we always see the negative news getting highlighted, and the positivity does not show up, right? Uh,
Absolutely.
Amazon ने, Amazon ने 12,000 एम्प्लॉयज निकाल दिए, TCS ने भी अराउंड 20,000 एम्प्लॉयज निकाले. If you see their overall world employee strength, they only did some 0.5 to 2% employee, or 1% employee culling, that reduction.
Hmm.
That's nothing. But then they hired back also. वो तो नहीं आया न्यूज में.
Yeah, this is
हाँ,
also
because
something said to me that they hire every single year lakhs of students, right?
या या सो वो लोग बल्क हायरिंग, अगर लेटरल हायरिंग कर रहे हैं, दिस इज डायरेक्टली कैंपस प्लेसमेंट इज समथिंग एल्स. अगर लेटरल हायरिंग कर रहे हैं, इट हैपेंस ओवर ए पीरियड ऑफ टाइम.
Hmm.
पूरे साल में उन लोगों ने 12,000 के जगह जो निकाला था, उसकी जगह उन लोगों ने अराउंड 6 to 8,000 और हायर कर लिया है.
Hmm.
Okay. So, but what they have hired or whom they have hired, they have been hired with a specific skill.
Hmm.
So there your answer to your question
Hmm.
comes. This is skill, okay, in MBA. Nowadays, what is happening is people are looking at smart workers, right?
Hmm.
हम लोग एक्सेल में या फिर पावर BI टैब्ल्यू में बैठ के डैशबोर्ड्स बनाएंगे, बनाएंगे, दैट इज ओके. इट यूज टू टेक से 3 मंथ्स.
Hmm.
लीड टाइम उसका 3 मंथ्स हुआ करता था कुछ भी बनाने का. बट नाउ इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ AI दैट लीड टाइम हैज कम डाउन टू a few days. So you need the skill set that you need to have. The biggest skill set that MBA person needs to have is adoption of the new technology.
Hmm.
Or there at this point of time, I would say AI adoption. ठीक है. मैं खुद, okay, with 18 years of experience, I am learning a few tools. Not only learning, I am utilizing it at my work, and it is making my work easier, I would say very confidently. It is making my job faster. I'm getting results quite fast. And I would not depend on many people now because of the certain things which I used to depend on for earlier. मैं खुद ही कर पा रहा हूँ. So flexibility to learn first of all at any point of time of your career, and then learning new technology and adoption of new technology is what the biggest skill set that any MBA person should have.
What about communication? I mean, this year, I mean, since 1st of January till 18th of February, I've taken, I think, more than 100 mock interviews where I'm just
Mm.
interacting with students on camera. So I think, I've traveled to a lot of colleges also, and I've seen this, that, this is one whole soul thing which plays a very important role, especially when it comes to entering to the job. And again, if you want to, take it to the next level, for that, you need to have all those core skills, which is needed, right? So, what do you
Absolutely.
want to say on this particular thing?
See, because my job role does not have clear, does not have a responsibility when I have to communicate with many people, or no communication is only internally happening. I wouldn't say I won't be the best person to comment on this. But having said that, communication is not only communication what we are doing face to face. It is also the email communication. business communication. That there are a lot of types of communications are there, and yes, it is very important. I would still say that there are a lot of content available online, lot of content available at many channels in YouTube, which can help people develop communication with. But and I think आप पहले नहीं होंगे जो कम्युनिकेशन के बारे में बोल रहे होंगे. कम्युनिकेशन इज लाइक हमारे टाइम से 20 साल पहले से सब लोग बोल रहे हैं कि यार यू नीड टू कम्युनिकेट बेटर. ओके, दैट्स हाउ इट इज. वी नो दैट. सो
Just want to
इसलिए मैं.
add this thing. I also, started my entrepreneurship journey when I was 19, right? It's been almost 11 years since I'm working, right? Marketing,
हम्म,
HR, operations, initially offline sales, then building online business and everything. So I guess, आपने कितना ही अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बना लिया, if you don't know how to communicate on that.
या एब्सोल्युटली, एब्सोल्युटली,
Yeah.
एब्सोल्युटली, यू आर करेक्ट. सो मैं उसमें क्यों नहीं गया, बिकॉज इट्स लाइक दाल चावल, राइट? अब
Yeah.
हाँ, 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 it is like our Maslow's hierarchy needs का basic platform जो है. If you have heard about Maslow's hierarchy law of motivation, ये बहुत साइकोलॉजी का बहुत पुराना है. उसका जो बेस है, बेसिक नीड, ओके, रोटी कपड़ा मकान.
Hmm.
दैट्स अ बेसिक. एमबीए के लिए बेसिक नीड है कम्युनिकेशन. इफ यू कैन नॉट कम्युनिकेट, डोंट डू एमबीए.
अच्छा, I also have
हाँ.
this one question. आप 18 साल से इंडस्ट्री में हैं. The time, the point you started with your first job, with your current job, एक स्टूडेंट कैसे कैपिटलाइज कर सकता है? बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली जैसे आप भी डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि आपने पहले 3 महीने में सीखा, इट्स ऑल अबाउट लर्निंग विच वाज ऑल टोटल डिफरेंट, व्हेन यू वाज परस्यूइंग योर एमबीए. बट एवरीबody wants to grow in their career, right?
या
कि मैं 2 साल बाद या 5 साल बाद, they even ask this question in MBA interviews, where you see yourself in next 5 years. So if somebody wants to really capitalize their MBA in a long run after being there in corporate, what do you think? Now what skill set matters a lot? Is it like same that you need to be adaptive and learning new technologies, or will that be something else other than this?
See, you also need to be able to catch up new opportunities. Okay, so why I'm telling this, I'll tell you a context about it. I worked in the banking industry majorly for the initial part of my career, and then from banking I shifted to edtech. Okay, why I shifted to edtech is because I had a premonition, I would say. Premonition, nahi, but mm, a long-term view that it if I shift towards learning and development, then I have to go through the edtech route. And edtech would be a big boom in the coming days. And it happened. Now everybody talks about edtech. There is an industry called edtech. Otherwise, इससे पहले हम लोग जब एमबीए करके निकले थे, edtech कुछ था ही नहीं. There is nothing called education technology. So they just come out. So the biggest skill set is to while you are working in a particular role. First of all, when you get a job, you might not understand whether it is the best job for you or not. But the biggest skill set while you have completed your MBA and working should be to understand where the opportunity lies, where the industry is moving, where the market is, and cash out on that opportunity to find it. So being opportunist is not bad, it is good. You become opportunist, find out where it is, and then you take advantage of it. ठीक है. आज के डेट में ये the it is boundaryless world. You can find an opportunity sitting here in Bangalore. I'm right now at Bangalore. So sitting here in Bangalore, you may get a job immediately in say, Australia. And yeah, and within 15 days, you may have to move there. ऐसा होता है. ऐसा होता है. There are situations in Europe which have, restricted entry there. US में ट्रम्प ने तो अलग ही चीज किया है, तो बट देन कनाडा इज सो फ्री, यू नो साउथ अमेरिका में आप जा नहीं सकते बिकॉज इट्स ऑल लैटिन स्पेनिश spoken countries there. But at the end of the day, still I would say the world is boundaryless right now. You can move suddenly in a few days time, a few weeks time, you have an opportunity somewhere else. Uh, but the bulk of opportunities are in India, I would still say.
So I think I'm
ठीक
all
है.
done with my questions. I just want you to add any last suggestion, what you want to give to all these audience who will be watching this podcast of yours. I mean, I myself learned a lot, but I guess, I mean, any suggestions, the future aspirants, the ongoing pursuing MBA students, what suggestions you really want to give it to them?
See, studies they would manage. I don't have to. They will get a good college. They'll get a good B school or university where they will manage their studies and they will clear. The
Hmm.
main issue will come when the job after MBA comes in, and there only the interest lies for the students. उधर ही उनका interest है कि
Hmm.
क्या job मिल रहा है.
Hmm.
I would suggest there are two things that you can do
Hmm.
there. Okay, first, या तो पैकेज ले लो
Hmm.
या फिर प्रोफाइल ले लो.
Hmm.
Okay, so that means either you look at a package which is good
Hmm.
and jump into that role, or you look at a profile package, maybe lesser or what, but which matches your interest. Even if you go for a package and the job later on you may not like the job, you can always, in the initial 4 or 5 years of your career, you can very much switch from various types of jobs to various other types. Okay, I have switched from core banking to core L&D.
Hmm.
Okay, so वो भी 8 साल 8 10 साल बाद. So 4 5 साल में you can always understand where your interest lies in the industry and you can take a call on that. MBA में आप ये सब चीज सीख ही लोगे. MBA में you will learn all those things, and don't worry about choosing specializations. Okay, where whichever I did marketing and finance, and now I'm there in L&D, which is a function of HR.
Hmm.
Okay, people only sees your experience. At the end of the day, MBA का स्पेशलाइजेशन के लिए इतना दिमाग मत लगाओ. वही मैं बोलूंगा. Where at that point of time during your MBA studies, wherever your interest is there, do that. Later on, you can always change where you work, what you work for. Don't try to foresee what's going to happen in future.
Okay, so thank you so much, Shubhra, for your time. It was lovely interacting with you, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'll request you to share your LinkedIn ID. I think, yeah, we already have. So, once we'll post the video, we'll definitely share it to you. So, thank you so much. It was great experience interacting with you. I mean, majorly it's more of a students with whom I'm interacting. So, having all these useful insights, was grateful. Thank you so much.
yeah, sure. Thanks, Arshi. Thanks for the
Okay.
time.
Hmm.
Yeah, bye, bye.
Bye.
I hope you liked this video. For more such videos, keep watching our channel.
And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.